Radio, I'm Teresa Wierzbianska. President Trump is boasting of the, quote, greatest opening week in presidential history. He spoke at a House Republican Issues Conference, a gathering of House Republicans that this year takes place at a Trump resort in Florida. Trump says he and his allies are replacing 100 years of domination by the Franklin Delano Roosevelt New Deal coalition. Christopher Martinez reports.
House Republican leaders are holding their annual policy retreat, and this year it's taking the form of a pilgrimage to a posh Florida resort with 4 golf courses. To be precise, the Trump National Doral Miami. Florida Republican Mario Diaz-Balart is hosting the event.
First and foremost, I know you guys are really upset that we're here and not in D.C., right? This community, as you've heard, Doral is a very diverse community. It's a community that understands socialism, the evils of socialism.
Ballard and other Republicans spoke at a news conference before the GOP conference. Later, at the event itself, President Donald Trump took to the stage for a speech touting what he called the greatest opening week in presidential history.
Together, we're forging a new political majority that's shattering and replacing Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal coalition, which dominated American politics for over 100 years. That's what we're doing.
He boasted of actions like a federal hiring freeze, a freeze on foreign aid, moves to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords and the World Health Organization, and sending troops to the border. He says other countries will have to take back what he describes as their criminal migrants, or else face sanctions in the form of trade tariffs. He says tariff is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. Pretty much.
It's God, love. It's all these other things, but I say number 4, but God, love, religion, tariff, 4th.
Trump also had some thoughts about the future, in particular, his political future.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure because, I don't know. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to run again, Mike?
According to the Constitution, Trump is not allowed to run for a 3rd term. But last Thursday, Republican Mike Ogles of Tennessee proposed a constitutional amendment to let a president serve 3 terms if their first 2 terms were not consecutive. That's not something that's likely to be enacted in the foreseeable future. As for the broader Republican legislative agenda, Republicans say they expect more specifics will be announced after their retreat. Reporting for Pacifica Radio News KPFA, I'm Christopher Martinez.
A week into Donald Trump's second presidency, federal officers are operating with a new sense of mission. A dozen officers from Immigration and Customs Enforcement gathered before dawn Monday in a Maryland parking lot, then fanned out to the Washington suburbs to find their targets. Someone wanted in El Salvador for homicide, a person convicted of armed robbery in Maryland. All were in the country without documentation. The Associated Press accompanied the officers who offered a glimpse of how their work has changed. Ed Donahue reports.
Federal officers are operating with a new sense of mission since President Trump started his crackdown on immigration. The number of immigration-related arrests each day has more than doubled since President Trump took office. Matthew Elliston with Immigration and Customs Enforcement was involved in raids around Washington, D.C. He says the worst go first.
So far, we've apprehended the man wanted for homicide in El Salvador. We've apprehended the armed robber.
Elliston says nobody gets a free pass anymore.
We will constantly be out looking for them, especially these egregious public safety cases. Looking for these guys will never stop.
Arrested in a Chicago raid was Yanitza Marquina's father.
It's heartbreaking. They took a good man, a hardworking father.
Marquina says her father, a warehouse worker, was facing a battery charge and is not a criminal.
The past is the past. I believe everybody deserves a second chance here.
I'm Ed Donahue.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have streamed into heavily destroyed northern Gaza in their first chance to return since the early weeks of the 15-month war with Hamas. Meanwhile, Israel says 8 of the hostages to be freed in the weeks ahead are dead. A fragile ceasefire has entered a second week. The return of Palestinians is a dramatic reversal of the mass exodus that many had feared Israel would make permanent. Palestinians who have been sheltering in squalid tent camps and former schools are eager to return to their homes, even if they are likely destroyed. Mohammed Audi has been reunited with his family after over a year of separation.
Better than the whole world. It is a great victory to see my mother, father, and brother. Praise to God. I've been away from them for 1 year and 4 months. I was alone in the north here. They were all in the south.
Praise to God, He brought us back safe and sound. Our Lord gave us victory. May God reassure us about all the Muslims in the world. Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds.
For Pacifica Radio, I'm Teresa Wersbianska.